We, the people, rise up and solve the great challenges of our time. We do it by embracing freedom and liberty. There may be no such thing as a free lunch, but this hour is as close as it gets. Welcome to A Free Solution.
Yes, it is. Larry Sharp, so happy to be here with you on another awesome Tuesday afternoon here on A Free Solution, WYSL, Rochester, New York. So excited. If you're excited, let me know. 585-346-3000. That's the number to reach out to me and say hi. Usually you can get a hold of me on a sharp way, but today I'm with you. Isn't that amazing? Enjoying Western New York and, of course, the rest of the nation. Some of you may know what the AEF is, or should I say, was, as a military organization. For those of you, if you are, say, a history buff, you may know what the BEF is, or was. The BEF was the British Expeditionary Force, which was sent to the continent whenever the British would go to fight some war, whether they go fight in World War I, or fight in World War II, or fight in some other continental battles throughout history. They would send an expeditionary force called the BEF. Well, the Americans, we had an AEF. We had an American Expeditionary Force. I say, really? We had that? We did. A couple of times. But one time, believe it or not, it was in Russia. Yes, we had forces in Russia. Why in the world would we have forces in Russia? Was this during the Cold War? No. This is before there actually was a Soviet Union. It was actually Russia. Yes. 1919, we sent about 5,000 troops, the AEF, into Russia. Why? Why in the world would we send troops into Russia? Well, let me tell you a quick story. Larry, tell me a story. What? Yeah. Before World War I, 1914, the Russian kings, or Tsars, as they were called, the Tsars, didn't like communism. I don't blame them for that. It would overthrow them. Makes sense. Well, there were some popular communists in Russia who followed Marx, who was a German, as you probably know. Lenin was one of those popular communists. Well, Lenin had to flee because the Tsarists would have killed him. So he fled. Where'd he go to? Germany, where Marx was. We might go, great. The Germans must have loved communists. They didn't either. Remember, they also had a king back then. They didn't call him Tsar. They called him Kaiser. But an emperor is an emperor is an emperor. They changed the name. So they had a Kaiser. Kaiser didn't like him either. In fact, they would fight in the streets. They would fight in the streets against communists. The monarchist forces would fight against communists in the streets with axe handles and guns and knives to try to decide what would the fate of Germany be. Well, World War I comes along. The Russians and the Germans are fighting, and the Germans are fighting the British and the French. Massive world war. What many people don't know is the Germans actually won the war against the Russians. They actually won World War I against the Russians, not against the French, British, and Americans, and that's how the war ended. But they actually beat the Russians. How would they beat the massive Russians? Many reasons, but the biggest one was because the Russian government fell. How'd the Russian government fall? Because Lenin, that communist that the German monarchy hated, they said, why don't we send that guy back to Russia? Why don't we prop him up and send him into Russia? Because we don't want him trashing our monarchy. Maybe he'll trash theirs. Well, German ingenuity yet again worked. They send Lenin over there. He's rabble-rousing people in the capital. At that point, it was St. Petersburg in Russia. He's rallying everybody, helping to make a collapse of the empire. The Russian Empire collapses. Lenin begins to take over. So it looks like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Look at that. So now the Germans win the war against Russia because the Russian government collapses into civil war. Well, now World War II ends, and the Germans have lost that war now. They surrender now to the French, British, and Americans. All right, sounds good. Well, the Americans don't like communists either. But Americans also were just fighting the Kaiser. They were fighting emperors. Well, there were a bunch of forces in Russia called the White Movement, and they were kind of monarchist, kind of Democrats, kind of just not communists-ish, kind of. And the Americans wanted to back them. So we sent 5,000 troops to support them to fight the communists. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Weird how politics will make strange bedfellows. How we think right now, let's do the right thing for us right now. But is it the right answer? Did it end up being good? Did we follow our instincts in each of those? Did the Germans? Did the Americans? Did any of us? I would argue often we don't. Often we don't. Why would I bring up that crazy story of Americans in Russia and Lenin and Marx and World War I? Why would I do that? Because I'm nuts. True. However, it goes back to what's happening right now. Right now. Cuomo, the former governor of New York, is upset about the raid on Trump, on Trump's house in Florida. Now, in theory, Cuomo shouldn't care. In fact, he should be happy. He attacked Trump like there was no tomorrow. Half of his governorship was saying how evil and bad Trump is. So shouldn't he be jumping up and down and happy? Get Trump, beat him up. Shouldn't he be thinking that? He's not. Wait a minute. They come after him. They might come after me. I don't know if I like that, right? I thought us elites, we had some immunity here. He's a former president. I'm a former governor. Wait a minute. I don't want them raiding my house. So all of a sudden, he loves Trump. There we go. Now all of a sudden, we love Lenin again. I don't know, whatever. This is my point. That all of a sudden now, Cuomo is all of a sudden backing Trump. For years, all he did was attack him, call him bad names, insult him, sick his AG on him, which is still happening now. Hochul still's got the AG on Trump. And now all of a sudden, well, you know, let's not get hasty here. Let's not go too far. All of a sudden, it's different. And that's very funny. But I'm not done. I'm not done. So I got Democrats jumping ship all of a sudden, changing how they feel. But I got something else. I also got Republicans now who talk about backing the blue no matter what, and all of a sudden mad at the FBI. The FBI is the blue too. And so many of you get mad at me because I won't do a blanket statement of just backing all the cops or hating all the cops. I won't do either. Because it isn't that black and white. Sometimes the cops are 100% right, and sometimes they're 100% wrong. They're just human beings who make mistakes, who do bad things, and who do amazing things, and who do great things. Yes, that's called being human. Now all of a sudden, hate the cops, don't like the FBI. What? I thought you were back to blue last week. Yeah. None of this is surprising to me. And if you remember, I talked about this months ago. I told you what the Democratic plan was going to be. What I said was, and if some of you are paying attention, you know, I said, they're not going to come up with any good plans. Democrats can't do that. They only come up with bad plans. They do have plans, though. Plans to control us, destroy us. They're good at that. That's the only plans they have. Well, now they need better plans. They can't do that. So they're not going to come up with plans for us. So what will they do instead? They will smear the opposition. And this is what they're doing. And sadly, it looks like it's working. It looks like, yet again, the party in power does not have to fix anything, doesn't have to make anything better, anything stronger or faster. What does it have to do? Smear the other side. If you smear the other side, well, there's only two options. So you don't want that horrible person, do you? So you'll take me. I know I'm horrible too, but I'm not as horrible as him. This is what I told you they would be doing. I told you this is what January 6th was going to be about. I told you that they were going to come after him and try to make him look bad. And it's working. You see it in the polls. It is working. There is a chunk of the Republican Party that loves Trump and will love him no matter what comes up. There's a chunk of people who hate Trump and will hate Trump no matter what comes up. Trump could, save their kid from a fire. They would still hate him. Got it. Those groups of people exist. But there's a whole lot of us in the middle who are swayable. We are swayable. We would go with them. We'd not go with them. Maybe. Who's better? Who's worse? There's a lot of us out there who can go either way. They are going for that group. And if the Democrats get a big enough chunk of them, it'll work. And I wish what I was saying wasn't true. But you and I both know it is. It's a problem. We're choosing our bedfellows based upon the next election cycle. We're choosing our allies based upon the next election cycle. Principle? What the heck is that? I don't know. Am I wrong? 585-346-3000. Larry Sharp, WYSL, Rochester, New York. Back with your calls and your chat after the break.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Hey, this is Kevin Wilson, host of A Free Solution. You ever needed a tool for just one project, but didn't want to spend the cash for something you'd use just once or twice? Well, there's a new tool library in Rochester where you can borrow just the thing you need instead of buying a new one. It's called the Tool Shed from the Southeast Area Coalition, and membership starts at just $25 a year. Use it for home projects or to support your business. Learn more and become a member at seektoolshed.org. That's SEAC toolshed.org.
Need to take care of a dental issue but don't have dental insurance? There's a special blessing for you on Saturday, August 13th called For the Love of God Dentistry. You can get an extraction, a tooth filled, or get a full dental cleaning for free. Be one of the first 150 guests at Grease Family Dentistry, and your choice of a filling, extraction, or cleaning is free. Registration starts at 8 a.m., so be there early, and we'll give you a great reason to smile at the For the Love of God Dentistry event. Go to greasefamilydentistry.com for more information.
We have Craig from Clinton on the phone.
Solution on the WYSL stations.
Hey, it is Larry Sharp here on A Free Solution, WYSL, Rochester, New York. 585-346-3000 is the number to reach out to me and say hi and tell me I'm right or that I'm wrong or something else. I'm happy to take any of those calls that you like. Before the break, I was doing another history lesson of the early 1900s, America, Germany, Russia, how we swap bedfellows based upon what we want right now. Not about our principles, not about what really matters. We join people that we don't care about, that we even don't like, just to get what we want. And how Cuomo now is, I guess, a Trump supporter, I guess. I guess he is, because the elites want to stand together to make sure he doesn't want that raid coming to his house, right? That's what he's looking at. And look, if I'm him, I get it. It makes sense. I think it's terrible, but, it's logical. It makes sense. Let me grab a call if I could. I'm going to grab Craig from Clinton. How are you, sir?
Not bad. How are you?
What's going on?
Oh, just calling because I wasn't at all surprised, honestly, when Cuomo fell in behind Trump on this one, because his brother Chris already did this 2 weeks ago on Mar. Bill tried to get him to talk bad about Trump, and Chris says, "Whoa, hang on, that guy's not so bad."
Yes.
And I always said this when Trump and Cuomo were having their feud, it was working for both of them, because it was getting Cuomo elected in New York, and it was making Trump look good with his Republican base. And I always said the two of them loved each other behind the scenes. And I don't know, I'm feeling a little vindicated.
Well, but if you remember, many times I've said this, Cuomo isn't actually, in his heart, a Democrat. Cuomo is a Cuomoist. The reason why he's a Democrat is because in New York, that would get him elected. He didn't care whether he'd have been a libertarian, a Republican, conservative. He'd have been whatever it took to get elected. He was about power, nothing more. He would have taken on any label that would have gotten him elected. If he lived in Oklahoma, he'd be a Republican. He's whatever it takes for him to get in charge. He is a Cuomoist. So if he thinks this Democratic Party won't work for him anymore, he'll be joining Yang in the Forward Party. He doesn't care. Whatever's going to put him in charge. If he thinks Trump will be his ticket to the front, there you go. And I've been saying this forever, and people would look at me and say, Larry, I don't understand. Why is Cuomo always fighting de Blasio when de Blasio was the mayor of New York? And I would say this, and I think I feel vindicated in this case. De Blasio was a true believer, still is. Terrible mayor. And the reason why it was so horrible is he honestly believed socialism is the answer. Wealth redistribution will solve everything. He honestly believes that. He's a true believer. He knew Cuomo wasn't. Cuomo was, whatever will get me elected, that's what I am. Whatever will keep me in power, that's what he was. That's why they fought. And I think this shows what Cuomo actually is. Just an opportunist, just a Cuomoist.
Yeah, and I don't think it's just Cuomo. Cuomo is an extreme example. I would venture to say it's a majority of the people in power, quote unquote. And I get so frustrated, and I wonder, what is it going to take for people to say, you interviewed John McAfee, and he said it's all a circus. He said it's all a circus, Larry.
Yes.
And maybe you like the circus. He says maybe you want to watch it. And I think everyone loves watching the circus. I wish they would pull the tent down, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. What's going to make that happen?
I just wish that we would just have a better tent someplace else. I'm not against the circus, Craig. I'm against the circus running our government. That's what I'm worried about, right?
Agree. I love the circus. I love peanuts. I love elephants. I just don't want them in charge of my life.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
You want to watch the circus? Enjoy. Whatever. Watch the trapeze guys flop around. Oh, good. Yes. 100%, brother. I appreciate it.
Alrighty, thanks. Yeah, hopefully we'll get I don't know, keep waking people up.
We'll keep trying, my friend. Thanks.
Yeah. Yep. Bye.
So I think this is a valid point, right? I know sometimes I go on the I told you so rant. I do sometimes, right? And this time's another. I said this is what Democrats will do. It's what they're doing. I said Cuomo is a Cuomoist, not a Democrat Republican. He's showing who he is too. And his brother, as Craig just said, Chris Cuomo, was on Bill Maher. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Recently. And he was all like, oh, third parties are the answer. Wow. I've been saying that for like 5 years. But you weren't saying that when your brother was governor. When your brother was governor, it was Trump is evil. My brother's perfect. Vote Democrat. Vote blue. That's what he was saying. Now, well, my brother's no longer in power anymore. So Democrats don't like him. So maybe Democrats suck now. That's basically what he's saying. I wish it wasn't so transparent. In fact, you know what? Take that back. I wish it was more transparent. I wish it was more transparent. I would actually respect him more. And then at least we could see, okay, it's a circus. And if you like the circus, to Craig's point, watch the circus, but don't let it run our lives. So let me grab some chat if I could. Elaine says, I'm confused about Trump. The media told so many lies. I have no clue what to think. Elaine, I don't think you're alone on this. And if you are someone who spends a lot of time around people who are anti-Trump, it seems obvious Trump's an evil, terrible person because everyone around you is saying that. If you're around a lot of people who love Trump, it seems obvious Trump is awesome because everyone's saying that. But if you don't spend time around those two types of people, it can be very confusing. Which is a lie, which is not, which part of Trump is true, which part's not. I get it. And here's what I think is going to happen. To your point, Elaine, I think you are a big chunk of America. The real reason, I believe, why there was a raid on Trump's house is to get more data for the January 6th hearings, which are going to come up in September. They're restarting in September. The January 6th hearings are much more of a hit than anybody thought. Most people thought, it's got to be a joke. But I think Craig is right. January 6th hearings, that's the circus. And people like the circus. And they're watching. They're watching. And people like you, Elaine, I bet will watch some of it. If you don't watch it itself, you'll watch some coverage of it or some news person you trust give their opinion about it, whatever the case may be. And it will probably affect you in one way or another. You either go, it's a show trial, kangaroo court, and you'll be closer towards Trump, or you'll believe, oh my God, this stuff's real, and you'll move away from Trump. One of the two. But it's working. I think they did this to get more data for that, and more of that's going to come out, and that's the goal. And some of you may think, well, Larry, the goal is to put Trump in jail and have him do a perp walk and put him in handcuffs. I don't think so. I think the goal is to do what they've been doing. Get everyone around Trump, but to leave him alone. Leave him alone. And people on the right, if you're a Republican, you might be thinking, he better announce now and show them. That is literally what the Democrats want. They want Trump on the ballot in November, even though he's not going to be on the ballot in November. Because again, you hear me say this, and some of you think I'm full of it, but what Democrats do very well is turn everybody into Trump. Why? Because what will unite Democrats more than anything? A boogeyman. And Trump is the perfect boogeyman. Whether he likes it or not, whether you think so or not, the date is in. That is, he's a good boogeyman to unite Democrats. Democrats don't like Biden. They like someone who can stop Trump. And they thought Biden could stop Trump, so they got behind Biden. If they think insert Democrat here can stop imaginary Trump running this year, they'll get out and they'll vote. That's how you get the base out to vote. So if Trump jumps and announces, it's exactly what Democrats want. I think that's what this is about. I could be wrong, but I'm usually right in these things. I say these things out in public, and rarely am I wrong. But you tell me, am I wrong? 585-346-3000. Larry Sharp, A Free Solution. Rochester, New York, WYSL. Back with your comments and your calls after the break.
celebrating 35 years.
WYSL.
AM 1040 Avon Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, and FM 95.5 Spencerport.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. Partly cloudy skies, comfortably cool, dip into the 50s and low 60s out there. On your Wednesday, should be a nice day, partly sunny, upper 70s near 80, low humidity. Thursday, same deal, partly sunny. There might be a few clouds, a brief shower in the afternoon near 80. That's cold front, even drier, nicer weather Friday into the weekend. I'm Rich Cornelia, WYSL.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
The summer celebration continues with new savings and selection waiting for you at Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Anthony Drive off Route 96 in Victor. It's fun in the sun every day when you drive one of America's favorite four-wheel drive vehicles from Victor, like the 22 Jeep Cherokee Limited 4x4 in Diamond Black Crystal Pearl Coat, just $339 a month for 36 months. Must be returning lessee. The 2022 Ram 1500 Classic Warlock Quad Cab 4x4 pickup in Hydro Blue Pearl Coat is just $269 a month for 39 months. Must be Conquest lessee. The 22 Jeep Compass Latitude 4x4 is just $299 a month for 36 months. Must have Conquest every returning lessee. First payment, DMV, taxes, and fees due at signing. Other conditions may apply. See dealer for details. We're here to fully serve Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram customers in Victor, Canandaigua, Macedon, Fairport, and throughout the Metro and Finger Lakes. Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 6560 Anthony Drive in Victor.
I was running late for work. Backing out of the driveway, I ran over my wife's cat. Showing up late, they fired me. Then my upset wife left me. Then I called Western New York Sealing and Paving. They did a great job on my driveway. Thanks, Western New York.
Some situations may be over-dramatized.
WNYPave.com. That's WNYPave.com.
Call 247-8466, 247-8466.
Take it, Tony.
How's that?
Terrific, man. Hold on. Hello.
Honey, we need help. The house is like an oven.
Oh, man, now I really got the blues.
What's the skinny, Pete?
AC's down and the house is hot. What am I going to do, brother?
Call Taylor, 500 Help. Their air conditioning experts will fix things up and have you singing in no time.
500 Help? Now, that's a cool number.
I think I'm really getting it, man.
Call Taylor, 500 Help. Do you ever question how much value you get for the money you spend? Funerals can be expensive, and you should feel confident getting what you paid for. Bartolomeo and Prado Funeral Home promises to deliver. From expert guidance to a warm, inviting facility to handling all the details during a difficult time. Their priority is to create a meaningful tribute for your loved one and for you to feel that you spent wisely. When you're in need, call Bartolomeo and Prado Funeral Home, 720-6000.
What kind of deck do you deserve? You deserve a Burt's Lumber deck. Burt's has Wyoming and Livingston County's largest selection of pressure-treated lumber in stock, and Burt's carries minimal maintenance, Duralife composite decking, plus all the screws, fasteners, railings, steps, and everything you'll need to complete your project. Build it once, build it right, enjoy it for life. You deserve a Burt's Lumber deck. Burt's Lumber in Perry, open 7 days a week, including Sundays, 9 to 1.
If you're looking to market and grow your business, make new business connections, and give back to the community in a meaningful way, consider joining the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce. We're the largest suburban chamber in Monroe County, and we offer networking, education, marketing, insurance, and advocacy. You do not need to live or work in Greece to join. Our members come from throughout the region. In short, we're better together, and together, we're moving business forward. Visit greecechamber.org or call 585-227-7272 to join today.
A free solution on the WYSL stations.
Yes, it is Larry Sharp here on Our Free Solution, WYSL, Rochester, New York. And you might say to yourself, Larry, wow. You'd be saying to me then, wouldn't you? Not to yourself. Any case, you might be saying, I like this show. Great. You can actually listen to it 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. How do you find out? No worries. Follow Our Free Solution on Facebook and YouTube, and you can do that. You can call me if you want to, 585-346-3000. The odds are very high I will not yell at you. I mean, I might. Odds are very high I won't. Not too shabby. Let me grab a little bit of the chat. You guys are, as always, lighting up the internet. I appreciate it tremendously. Nicholas says, the DOJ had better have the goods on Trump, or this raid will look like political persecution. Nick, I think it already does look that way, to be forward. I think it does look that way. And I'm not sure they care. I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe the point is to get Trump rousted, rallied, up and running, and to literally announce. If he announces now, Democrats will put him on, metaphorically, right? Not really, but on the ballot in November. I think that's the goal. This is what the Democrats believe, that if they put Trump on the ballot in November, they can stave off disaster. Add Trump plus their recent laws they passed, and they think they can get around this. And I got to tell you, and some of you will be mad when I say it, but I always try to give credit where credit is due. It's not a bad plan. It's not a bad plan. I'm not saying it's a ethical plan. I'm not saying that. I'm saying for the result that they're looking for, it's not a bad plan. I think it could work. I think it actually could work. There is a chance. I mean, what else do they really have? If that makes any sense. So we'll find out. But I do not think they're going to even try to put Trump in jail. And look, if they do, I'll come on and go, look, I was wrong. But I think in the perfect world for them, what will happen is a bunch of Trump associates will either go to jail or plead guilty or go on the January 6th and say how much they hate Trump and how much he lied to them or whatever. They'll do that, which will affect a lot of people and change their mind for November. Then Trump will start running. Trump will then run in 2024. Democrats want that. And either he'll win and be weak or he'll lose in the primary. That is their goal. That is their hope. They will break up the Republican Party against Trump in 2024. And again, Nick, this is not a bad plan. If that's their goal, not a bad plan. I will say right now, I believe that Trump will not be the Republican nominee in 2024. And I believe Biden will not be the nominee in 2024. I think in 2024, the final nominees for Democrats, Republicans will be neither Trump nor Biden. We'll find out in 2 years whether you're yelling at me, telling me how wrong I was. But that's my call. That's what I believe. We'll see what happens. John says, Trump got a taste of what it's like to be a common citizen. He stood behind the police until it affected him. You know, this is a point I want to bring up, John. I mean, Trump was kind of anti-FBI already with Comey and such. So I'm not sure it's 100%. I mean, he backed the police always, but he didn't always back the FBI, the federal police. I'm not sure about that. But your point's a valid one. And there are some people on the left bringing up a very valid point. And I want to, again, give them credit where credit was due. Some of you may know the story that in the 60s, the FBI and local police forces literally conspired to murder leadership of the Black Panther Party. Now, whether you support the Black Panther Party or not is irrelevant. Whether you thought they were a good idea or a bad idea is irrelevant. There is no way that the government should have conspired to murder and or put them in prison. That was unethical, that was immoral, it was wrong, and it was done. So the idea that you can weaponize the FBI, the police force, against political enemies, and that's a new thing. That's not a new thing. That's just the thing. So now they can use it against Trump. Now, obviously, they're trying to kill him. Obviously, those days of unethical behavior are over. But there's still unethical behavior, no question. So it just depends. To your point, John, is it your side or not? Is it okay when it's your side? And one thing I hope you will all see from me, it's not okay whatever side. Not okay whatever side. You won't know I didn't vote for Trump. I'm a libertarian. I wish Gary Johnson was our president. Clearly, that's what I want. I don't get to have what I want. So since I don't get Gary Johnson, you're all the same to me at that point. So I don't get what I want. But it doesn't mean that regardless of who I support, that they should be punished or not get, the rights we all get. You guys remember when Governor Cuomo, when he was governor, when he was first accused, I kept my mouth shut until the report came out. And I do not like Cuomo. I hate that man. That's true. I've been very obvious on how I feel about him. And I still said, even he deserved due process. You know what? Trump deserves it too. It doesn't matter what side you're on. Everybody deserves, everyone. The most common man, to your point, John, the average person who gets arrested by the cops deserves due process, and so does everybody else. So you have a valid point in that sometimes the elites don't like when it hits them. And you know what? Good. Then maybe they'll change how they think about how the system works for everybody. Because I do believe that a lot of people thought they're above the law, and they shouldn't be. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Patty says, I am 62 and have paid attention to politics since I was 18. I feel all the corruption used to be done in secret, smoke-filled back rooms. Now they are in our faces with it and don't care. And Larry, we the people comply. Oh my God, Patty. So good. We do comply, don't we? Yes. We see it and we let it happen. It's our circus and they are our monkeys and we allow them to go wild. I don't know who the monkey is. Patty, are we the monkeys? Are they the monkeys? I'm not sure who the monkeys are. There's part of me thinks we're the monkeys. I'm not sure. But your point's a valid one, right? We do comply. And this goes back to what I was just talking about with John. We tend to be okay with it when it's not our guy, right? So if it's Cuomo and we don't like Cuomo, well, it's fine. Or if it's Trump, we don't like Trump, well, it's fine. No, it's not okay when it's Cuomo, and it's not okay when it's Trump. It's never okay. This is what you will hear constantly from libertarians. Constantly from libertarians. It's never okay. Either way, it's not. Whether it's some dad who got caught in a system, whether it's some drug dealer who's selling drugs somewhere, whether it's a politician or a governor, we are all Americans and we all deserve due process. No monkeys, no circus. Dave agrees. He says, Hillary's the same way. Hillary believes what will get her elected. Some people don't know this. Hillary used to be a Republican. It's a true story. Back in the 70s, 60s, Republican. This is true. People don't realize that. Absolutely. 100%. Pyro asks, Larry, can we expect to see you in the upcoming New York State Fair? Yes, indeed. Yes, absolutely. Patty says, January 6th hearing season 2 coming to screens near you. Now, I know some of you love January 6th. And I know some of you hate January 6th. The January 6th hearings are not going away. They're not going away. This is how they make Trump look bad without going through an actual impeachment. And again, it is working. Joel responds, January 6th hearings are Trump's third impeachment. Joel, you're right. It's true. Christine says, I used to dislike Trump until I did my own research. He still spent too much money, but he was a good president. To be fair, Christine, they all spend too much money. Just to be fair, right? They all spend too much money. But yes, Trump absolutely spent too much money. The common thread I hope that you are seeing with my commentary is that I try my best to not make anybody, myself, anybody else, black and white, good or bad. All of us are flawed. Trump included, Cuomo included. Doesn't matter. We're all flawed. But it doesn't mean that we aren't good, if that makes any sense. It doesn't mean that we aren't maybe the best for the current job, the best that we currently have. It's possible. Even though we are all flawed. Doesn't mean I hate you. I hope you don't hate me because I'm flawed. Doesn't mean we shouldn't hate each other because we're flawed. This is why you don't hear me go, Trump awesome, best guy in the world. Yeah, give credit where credit's due. And I tell him, I hammer him when I hammer him. To include, he spent too much money. And to be fair, so did they all. All of them did. Him included. They spent too much money. It seems like Democrats tend to be tax and spend. Republicans tend to be debt and spend. But the spend part, they both got down. That's for sure. So thank you, Christine. Jason says, does anyone think for a minute that the FBI wouldn't have it in them to plant something in Mar-a-Lago? They have already done this in the Russia collusion nonsense. You know what? That's an interesting question. And this goes back to the earlier point, John's point. For the common person, would a cop plant things? Yes, cops have done that before. But most cops don't do that kind of thing, but some do. Would FBI agents do it? This is a big deal. I mean, the spotlight's on this. You'd have to be really brave or desperate to plant something. I mean, maybe. I don't think so. I would argue the odds are no, but maybe. I think no on this one. You guys tell me. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharp, WYSL, Rochester, New York. A Free Solution, back after the break.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Hey, this is Kevin Wilson, host of A Free Solution. You ever need a tool for just one project, but didn't want to spend the cash for something you'd use just once or twice? Well, there's a new tool library in Rochester where you can borrow just the thing you need instead of buying a new one. It's called the Tool Shed from the Southeast Area Coalition, and membership starts at just $25 a year. Use it for home projects or to support your business. Learn more and become a member at seektoolshed.org. That's SEAC toolshed.org.
Need to take care of a dental issue but don't have dental insurance? There's a special blessing for you on Saturday, August 13th called For the Love of God Dentistry. You can get an extraction, a tooth filled, or get a full dental cleaning for free. Be one of the first 150 guests at Grease Family Dentistry, and your choice of a filling, extraction, or cleaning is free. Registration starts at 8 a.m., so be there early and we'll give you a great reason to smile at the For the Love of God Dentistry event. Go to greasefamilydentistry.com for more information.
A free solution on the WYSL stations.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharp here on WYSL Radio, Rochester, New York. A free solution, 585-346-3000. So happy that you're giving me a small chunk of your afternoon. Going crazy with the chat, going nuts, which I love it. I'm glad you guys are online, giving me all your feedback. It's great. Been talking tremendously about the system and how it has affected Trump and others too. I love it. I'm glad you guys are on board. Valerie says, enjoying the show, Larry. I look forward to Tuesday shows. Thank you. I appreciate that. Love that. That's awesome. So Jason says, I think Trump was a good president. I also think we should get better with future presidents. Always, yes. Unfortunately, vote blue no matter who took over. Well, this is the point, Jason. I'm glad you brought this up. This goes back to the black and white two-party system. We're just looking at, well, the other guy's so evil that I have to vote for my guy. The blue no matter who, is that any different than red wave? Right? If you lean Republican, red wave is better for you. If you lean Democrat, vote blue no matter who is better for you. But neither of those are the right answer. The right answer should be vote for the person who you think will help you the best, not against the person you fear the most. And that's where we are right now. And the parties aren't helping. Democrats are making Trump the evil guy for all people who lean left to be afraid of. So you can't vote for the red team because they're going to kill you. You got to vote blue, no matter who. It makes sense with the system we have. If we change this system, that won't work as well, which is why you see me fighting so hard to create third-party value, to get the third party rocking and rolling. And people are asking me about ballot access. Ervin says, I've not found out yet. Did you make the ballot? I haven't been thrown off the ballot yet. I have to get a decision. For those of you who wonder why I also get mad at Republicans and conservatives so much, the Conservative Party is suing to throw me off the ballot. We'll see if they win. Literally, I've been waiting over 2 weeks to see if I'm getting thrown off the ballot or not. We'll see. If the judge says, believes them, then they'll throw me off the ballot. I'll fight again, and we'll do an appeal, and we'll be in court again. And worst comes to worst, we'll do a write-in if we have to. It's fine, but we will be on the ballot one way or the other. Hopefully, the judge will see my way. I spoke personally to the judge. I supported myself. I did a pro se, so I represented myself in this situation, and I spoke to the judge personally, and I'm hoping that I was able to sway him. I can sometimes be persuasive. Let's hope I was in this case. And if he says yes, then they don't throw me off the ballot, and I'm on the ballot. So I'm waiting as you are. It's been over 2 weeks. 3 Mondays ago is when we were in court. I'm hoping they'll give us an answer. So I hope that answers your question. So yes. This responds to Elaine, or my dislike of Hochul or Zeldin. I have nobody to vote for. You know, Elaine, you do. You're listening to a guy right now. You can vote for him. As Nicholas says, vote for Larry Sharp. Thank you. I do appreciate that. So I do want to bring up another idea. And this is, we should look at this and what the FBI did from John's point of view, which is, we shouldn't only be worried about Trump. We should. But we should also worry about the average person. But on the other side, I don't want to, somebody was teasing, a lot of the people on the left are obviously very happy about Trump getting raided, right? And they're like, MAGA is going ACAB. And for those of you who know what ACAB is, it's the opposite of back to blue. It is all cops are bad. It's that. That's what ACAB is. It's important we don't go either way, because neither of those two extremes are true. All law enforcement. My father was in law enforcement, whether it's FBI, cop, sheriff, they're just human beings. There are amazing law enforcement officers who do the bravest things we can imagine that we should all aspire to. And there are those who are horrible, corrupt people who shoot and kill people. Both. They both exist. They're humans. Better system makes better law enforcement. Let's not do back to blue. Let's not do ACAB. Let's have the best system we can have, so we'll have the best law enforcement we can have. That is the right answer. That's what I want us to push on. I don't want us to go ACAB. I don't want us to go back to blue. Go for the right answer. Cops are human beings. Some of them are amazing. Some of them aren't. That's it. Anyway, Gene says, nothing hurts our country more than making people believe that there are only two choices in every single way. In every single way, Gene. Yes, absolutely. Every single way. When you put people in a desperate position, they act desperately. So don't do that. Give people choices and options and let them move forward. We will make mistakes, but we don't want to be in a spot to where if I don't do this, I have no choice. The most dangerous type of person is one who has nothing to lose. They're dangerous to themselves and to others. So let's give people things that they can enjoy. Let's give people things, choices, future, hope, all those things. And we can do that. I really think we can do that. So I think it's Chewin says, I think the worst part of all of this will be that we look to our government and think they have sunk so low that they would do this type of thing. Wow. What an amazing point, Chewin. I say this all the time, and I'm a libertarian when I say this. We should, and I emphasize we should believe in and trust all of our institutions. Otherwise, why do we have them? We should trust our police. We should trust our court system. We should trust our universities. We should trust and believe in all of them, our FBI. But to Chewin's point, we don't. And the worst part is humans naturally want to also, right? We want to do that. Of course, we want to do it. It's natural for us. But to your point, Chewin, they have given us so many reasons, so many examples to not trust them. So many of us don't. So many reasons that many of us don't. So how do we fix that? It's what I talk about constantly, and I'm hoping people are starting to get it. The answer is amazing, crazy, out of the park transparency for years. Years and years of transparency. When you have years and years of transparency, people will eventually trust you again. It will take time. It won't be 5 minutes. Why do you think I spend so much time on this show, on other shows, being as transparent as I am, never having notes, just talking off the cuff, taking anything that comes in? I'm trying to be over the top transparent so that you will believe and trust me. I hope you do, even when you don't like me, even when you think I'm wrong. I hope you don't. Guys, thank you so much for giving me a chunk of your afternoon. I will see you all very soon.